Summer's over, the crowds are starting to leave, peace and quiet starting to come back. This is for sure my favourite time of the year in this place. In the next few days I'll be trying to do some of my favourite things. I'll be climbing big mountains, sleeping pretty rough, and hopefully finding some good waves. It's been a bit of a while since I've last come to the mountains. Last year I basically didn't do much else, more than hiking around the world. I feel like I was starting to get too identified with the thing, you know. I've got so many interests, so many things I like to do, that when I get too sucked into one thing, eventually I just get put off it completely, at least for a while. I just gotta slowly ease myself back into it. I'm starting to remember why I don't really hike in the summer. It's ridiculously hot. And it's 5 PM, so it's starting to get late, but the heat is quite ridiculous. All the streams are dry, so I'm gonna carry all my water with me. Left the road behind me, the track. Now it's time to start climbing in this ridiculous heat. Hiking is such a weird one. It's probably one of the weirdest things I do. It's such a popular thing to do. I mean, your grand does it, but it's weird because when you think about it in your head and when you look at pictures and stuff, it seems like really, you know, you actually feel like doing it. You see, look at all those pretty mountains, look at all that nature. But it's an activity that while you're doing it, it is horrendous. Every time I start to climb or start to hike, I just feel like this is the worst thing to do ever. But I've got enough experience to know that it's always worth it, even though for most part of the day it really doesn't feel like it. One of the things people ask me a lot when I do stuff like this, like spending a few nights out in the mountains, people always ask me if I'm not scared of stuff. And people normally think about wolves or bears or snakes, and let me tell you, this here doesn't really look like nothing, right? Well, this is the scariest part of hiking for me. So summer in an area where there's animals like horses and cows and stuff, and there's a little bit of vegetation, it's absolute breeding territory for ticks. Those little insects. Those are the things I'm scared of the most. They just get into your skin, you don't feel them, and they can give you Lyme's disease, which is a real fuck up. And you won't even tell that one has gone into you. And once they go in, you can't really get them out unless you know how to do it properly. Otherwise you can break them in half and the head stays inside and then you're fucked. So this here that looks like, you know, look at all this nice grass in the summer, is the most dangerous part of hiking, really. I've got to go up all this way and then up here and then around here all this vegetation stops, so it'll be a bit more comfortable, it'll be more rocky, so that's good. But all of this part still tick territory. So, first look at the climb for tonight. I'm gonna sleep hopefully at the top of there, if everything goes right. Up here, we covered some ground, so now the temperature is a bit better, but still more or less halfway there. Let's go. Starting to get proper height now. I'm at the top of this thing here, which in Spanish is called canal, and I've always been so drawn to them. I don't know why, they're just so beautiful. You got like in the middle, it's not a river, it's just rockfall, and then on both sides you got like these crazy rock formations. It's so beautiful. Just made it to the base of the mountain, just a few meters more. I've got about 2 hours of sunlight left, and I think the climb is fairly easy. It looks easy from here at least. Saying goodbye to the sun for a bit. I'm entering the shadow of the mountain. No more sun here, at least till I get till the top. There's the sun. This is the dark side of the mountain. For those that hike often, they know the feeling. When you start the hike, you normally walk without stopping, but when your legs start to go, you end up just going a couple steps, then stopping, couple steps, then stopping again. And I've always thought that it's like anything in life. You've got an objective, which is climbing this mountain, and it doesn't really matter how quick you go. What matters is that you keep chipping away, regardless of how you feel. If you gotta go slow, you go slow. If you can go quick, you can go quick. But what matters is that you don't stop making progress. I think the sunset is gonna be pretty mad. We got all these clouds coming in. It's gonna look absolutely heavenly. We gotta go up there still, but look at this. We made it just in time. The colors are unreal. There we have it. That's my suite for the night. That thing there. How the fuck do I get there though? Gotta go down, I think. Fuck. Wasn't expecting this right at the end. Fuck yeah. Look at this. Epic. Well, this is our room for the night. It's a bit rocky, and just when I've arrived, I've heard, I fucking keep hearing one mosquito, and I hope that that's not going to be a bloody nightmare all night long. But look at this place. I put this little plastic thing so that my mat doesn't blow up in the middle of the night. At least it takes the sharp edges away. There we go. All set for the night. Oh, I'm quite tired. For most of my life, I've never really felt like I was part of anything, you know? Like, I've always had so many interests, so many things I like, so many things I want to learn about, that I've never fully felt a part of anything. The closest thing I've probably felt is a surfer, but I don't consider myself a surfer. I consider myself somebody that surfs, but not a surfer as such. And I don't consider myself a mountaineer either, but I'm somebody that likes to go to the mountains. I feel like this was something that kind of felt strange sometimes. Now I feel like I just want to be as good as possible in the things that I find interesting. I want to be as good as I can in the mountains. I want to be as good as I can in the ocean. And hopefully as I grow, I'll have other interests. And one thing I know for sure is I will not be scared of trying other stuff. I will not be scared of trying new shit. I know that for a fact. I don't want the things that I do to be limiting in any way. I want it all. I want to be everything. I don't want to be something. Look at him. Moth. Feeling kind of like Gandalf right now. The eagles are coming. So this is the setup. Inside a sleeping bag on top of a mountain. I can hardly breathe. I'm reading Nietzsche. For some reason, every time I make a fucking video, I'm reading Nietzsche, but I read other stuff as well. Quite appropriately, I found this passage, which says, "In every age, for as long as there have been humans, there have also been human herds, family groups, congregations, tribes, peoples, nations, churches, and always a great many followers in proportion to the small number of commanders. Considering then that obedience has now been bred and practiced best and longest amongst humans, we can surely assume that everyone on average is born with a need to obey, as a kind of formal conscience that decrees, those shall do certain things without question, refrain from certain things without question. If we imagine this instinct taken to its ultimate excesses, we find a complete absence of commanders or independent people." You gotta be a commander, guys. Make sure you're a commander. Things we do for the shot. This is my spot here with the mountains there, and over there is the camera. Gotta go all the way up there just for the shot. Slept pretty awfully, I don't know why, but it's time to get moving. The forecast said there was gonna be good waves today, so I gotta get off this mountain as quick as possible. I can more or less see the conditions all the way from here. That's the beach. It's quite crazy. I'm on top of this bloody mountain and I can see the ocean. All packed up, early morning, pretty knackered, surrounded by bigger mountains. There are always bigger mountains to climb. Never in my entire life have I seen so many of them together. What is going on? Right, this is not good. How the fuck do I get past him? He can either be friendly or not be friendly. He's got his herd of sheep down there, so he's going to be very protective. Took me a bit longer than I was expecting to get all the way down. As I was coming down this morning, I was thinking about the little rant I went on last night, and the more I think about it, the more sure I am about this theory in which we have to consider ourselves like dynamic creatures, and I feel like identifying with certain things is what leads to a lot of suffering and a lot of problems. Say for example, being an introvert or being an extrovert. The consensus, or what everybody says, is that this is something you're born with, or this is just the way you are. But I would argue that how much of that isn't just a story we're telling ourselves. We identify with being one thing or another. And I feel like this is the same with anything we tell ourselves. So I think we've got to be very careful with this stuff we tell ourselves. For a long period of time, I was struggling with social anxiety a bit, and I always considered myself an introvert, but when I actually started to think and I actually started to analyze where all this came from, I was like, when I was a kid I wasn't like that, and I can more or less put my finger on when all of this started, you know. And from that moment, from that time, from that period of time in my life, I just kept telling myself the same story, the fact that I'm not good at social interactions, the fact I'm not an extrovert, the fact people don't really like me when they meet me. And for years I've been telling myself that. So at the end I ended up believing it. It ended up becoming who I am. And it's only been recently that I figured this out. And all of this shit I thought I was carrying with me and there was nothing I could do about it, literally has gone out the window. At least in my experience, leads me to believe that maybe it's not all so predetermined as we think. Maybe we have got more of a say in all of this. I'm not sure if it was the right decision to wake up in the top of a mountain this morning. Apparently there's some swell and it's taken quite a while for me to get down here. I hope I haven't missed the right tide. I've picked up a friend as well to help me film, because as you can imagine, pretty darn difficult to film yourself surfing. So let's hope we haven't missed it. I really do want it all, but it's difficult to have it all. The waves look alright, but I think I've arrived a bit late. Let's give it a go regardless. Got a fresh kiver here, 3 new boards. I think I'm gonna go in with the 20. It's looking quite gutless, but with this board it's just like you have so much fun in any fucking condition. It's pretty ridiculous. It's really just a regular twin, but with a bit more of a high performance vibe to it. So I think I'm gonna go in with this one. I am so hot and I smell awful. Just imagine, all day yesterday hiking in the sun, all this morning trying to get down here on time. I just want to get into that water. Hopefully it's not too cold. I haven't been in for a couple of days, and with the wind from the last few days it probably got colder, but just to get this smell off of myself. I am so tired, so tired. Haven't had lunch or anything to eat since this morning, and I didn't really have a proper meal. Haven't had anything to eat proper since yesterday before going up to the mountain. Can't do it anymore, I don't think. Tomorrow is another day, but at least tomorrow I'm not waking up on top of a mountain and then trying to go for a surf. Tomorrow at least wake up in my house and yeah, just have more energy. As you can see, I can't really even talk. Just doing a whole bunch of pointless shots that nobody gives a fuck about. But hey, it's about all my 2 brain cells left can conjure together. You know how it's an absolute nightmare to find good music that you can use in your videos. It all sounds kinda generic and soulless, which obviously doesn't help when making films. Well, there's a solution. I've told you before and I'll tell you again, the answer is Musicbed. But now, they've taken it to a whole new level, adding a highly curated sound library. Music is only half of what makes good sounding films. The other half is the stuff you don't notice directly, but takes a scene sounding like this to this. Sound design is one of the most important things in films, but rarely taken seriously, because honestly most of the sound effects you can find don't improve your films, they make them sound fake. This is where the new side of Musicbed comes in. Now you don't only have music from real artists, you have sounds created by some of the world's leading sound designers from your favorite movies, like Dune or Oppenheimer, all in one place. Use my link in the description to get a 14-day free trial and do yourself and your films a favor by ditching the generic. Switch to curated music and sound with Musicbed. If I didn't know the importance of being mindful about what I tell myself, I'd definitely tell myself I feel like I've been run over by a bus this morning. Today's the last day where there's going to be a bit of swell for a while, so I'm going to make sure I'm out there. Giving it a second go. Change the spot. Hopefully this is a bit better. But this last month I kind of felt like completely out of rhythm with the good conditions. Like, I've been to places where it was supposed to be good and then it wasn't. Just kind of missing out on good conditions constantly. I don't know, hopefully that changes. Sometimes it happens this way. It's like you're completely out of rhythm. Wherever you go, it's like you're behind the timing, and that just takes a good session to change. So hopefully this is the one. Let's go. It is honestly always such a fucking grind. Whatever you do in this sport, it's always like this. Even when you're from this place, you're dealing with something that is constantly changing, and you never know quite what the best decision is. Hopefully now, like I've said a million times, I'm being really hopeful, I suppose. But it looks alright now. Just be able to catch 2 or 3 waves is going to be enough to want to come again for the next couple of days. Better make the most of it.
Let's get it pumping, I'm looking away. Go tell mother I'm cooking the game. Flow like water bubbling up where you want me to make. Taking you back in the day, feeling immaculate, mate. Action packed back to back while you yapping away. I got a knack to react, but I'm packing a grace. Up to the max with a fact, let me grab the space. I had to map the place, who got a laughing face? On long and strong, looking like a stack full of hate. It goes on and on, way to the back of the bank. This phenomenon's on, I don't even have to say I'm where I belong. This no back in the, you know. I go where I wanna, a fair warning for anybody with hair on them. You can't stop me and get sloppy to bear on them. They try copy, but man, look at the tears on them. Mishpat, yeah, so incredible. When you're this good, go let them know. Yeah, so incredible. When you're this good, go let them know. They ain't never hear a band like this. They ain't never seen a man like this. Go let them know. They ain't never hear a band like this. They ain't never seen a man like this. Go let them know.
This feeling of spending so many hours in the water is a feeling that I remember when I was little, that you would spend, like, you would only go out because you were forced by your parents to have something to eat. And it's honestly one of the best feelings for me in life. If it wasn't the best session, the waves weren't the greatest. I'm literally just 20 minutes away from home, but this is honestly all I need. It's this moments like this, like the other night in the mountain. I really do not need much more. You always see people talking about happiness and what feeling fulfilled must be, and I reckon it's just feeling like you don't need anything else. And at the moment I do not need anything else more than maybe something to eat and a little bit of rest, but just feeling absolutely fulfilled. My soul is completely nourished. I spent a great couple of days in nature, doing all of the things I love, and yeah, this just makes me so happy. And it goes to show that the chase is always on, the push to be better, the push to get more, to be more is always there, but it's really important to appreciate these moments when you feel completely full inside. And like I said, I didn't spend much money today. I didn't go very far. I didn't travel to these exotic places. It was just, you know, it's being able to appreciate these things. And it's only recently that I've been able to appreciate this stuff. But yeah, it's been an epic couple of days.
I just wanna hear you say that there's a chance.